Hi guys, welcome to the channel. You're joining me, Emma, and today we are at Crufts. But let's start from the top. There are loads of ways to get to the NEC. There are car parks on site. It's also right next to a train station and an airport. If you're driving in, book your parking online to save £5. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for your parking inside the NEC, and don't forget, there is also a bit of a walk to the NEC. If you wanted to stay on site, the Moxie is right on the door, but I did look online and it's not the cheapest. You're also right next to Resort World if you don't find the food options very inspiring in the NEC. Heading on in, we arrived at around 9 AM. It wasn't too busy, but there were queues for the toilet and the coffee queue was absolutely nuts. I would recommend, if that coffee queue is busy, going straight up the stairs. There's another Starbucks. I'm not usually one for buying a programme, but I will say that the information on site isn't that clear, so I would recommend purchasing a programme for £15. So I really hope you guys can hear me over all of the barking. I am currently in Hall 5, which you can see behind me there's an arena. This is my first time at Crufts, so I'm sort of learning the ropes as I go along. But what surprises me is that there's lots of little rings. So you can see there ring 36, ring 35. So I thought it was just one main ring and everyone just watches the main show, but actually there's tons of little shows going on at any time. And then if I turn around, behind me here, there is just rows and rows and rows of like kennels, and I guess everyone has their individual spot. So there's a lot more dogs showing here than I expected. I haven't really watched Crufts on TV either, so I just really didn't know what to expect. But yeah, there's a lot of show dogs and a lot of different rings. As far as I can tell with the smaller rings, there's no way of knowing what's being shown at what time. Also, no one seems to have a microphone, so if you are watching, it's actually quite hard to know what you're watching and what's going on. I'm guessing these rings are more for the breeders and it's less about people watching and more about being awarded something within your category. But I'm not too sure. I didn't really understand what was going on that much, if I'm completely honest. They seem to do a lot of running around with their dogs, and everyone dresses quite fancy. There's also a point where they tend to sort of look over the dogs, and I guess they're looking for like imperfections. They seem to check their teeth and ears and coat. So I think it's probably more about that rather than doing anything special. So yeah, these are all of the, I don't really know what they call them, but like kennel sections. So you've got your own little area. Some dogs have tents, some are in little crates, others are just free or not free, like they have to be on a lead. But yeah, everyone's got their own setup. But I didn't think you'd see this side of things. I thought this would be like backstage, so it's quite interesting. They've also got these little sawdusty areas where I'm guessing they can go to the toilet. As you walk around, you see a lot of people sort of grooming their dogs or checking them over, I guess getting them ready to show. But I think the general rule is that you leave them to it. I don't think these people want to be bothered. I think it's a lot more serious, so we just watched from a distance. Also, I wouldn't recommend wearing your favourite shoes because there's obviously a lot of dogs, which means a lot of pee. This might change next year, but at 2026 Crufts, it was spread across 6 halls. Halls 1 to 5, and then a bonus hall, which was hall number 8. We actually didn't go into hall 8 because we were advised that it's a bit of a tester and there's not that much in there, but halls 1 to 5 were absolutely packed. So the programme shows you which rings and which stands are in each hall. There's also a timetable for each day telling you what's on in the main BP Pulse arena, and it also tells you what's going on in some of the bigger rings. It also gives you a list of which breeds are entered into which of the smaller rings. So this obedience ring is one of the main rings. This is featured in the programme. I will add, they still didn't seem to talk out loud all that much, so I knew what was going on more than the smaller ones, but it still wasn't that clear. To be honest, I think on the whole, the smaller rings and the whole like show setup isn't massively my thing. I'm not sure I love seeing the dogs sort of backstage, as it were, in their like crates and things. It's definitely fascinating, but let me move on to what is more up my street. Next up, we visited Discover Dogs. Now, this actually used to be a standalone event which was held in London each year. We attended back in 2016 and it helped us to decide what breed of dog was right for us. You will find pretty much every breed of dog at Discover Dogs. Breeds you didn't know existed, breeds you know and love, and many of them are very open to having a little stroke. Remember, picking a dog is not something to rush. Take your time with the decision. And if you're not looking to buy a dog, then it's just a great way to get to know different breeds and have a little cuddle. Oh my goodness, this place is absolutely massive. Cute dog stroked, now on to the shopping. If I can give you any tip, it is to buy everything at the end of the event. Walk around, make notes of things you like. There's so many different brands here, you just don't have to rush into these decisions. If you buy at the end, it gives you a chance to consider your purchases, and it also means that you don't have to carry things around. Also, I would recommend zigzagging up the rows because it's so easy to miss stalls. Even now when I'm home, I'm realising there were stalls that we just didn't see. This is where the programme also comes in handy because if there's specific brands that you're looking for, it will show you exactly where they are so you don't miss them. But the shopping really is insane. There's so much choice and the deals are excellent. I could have spent a fortune. Lastly, if you insist on doing your shopping early on like I did, you can pay £3 to put a bag in the cloakroom. Now on to the main arena, and it gets busy. There were points in the day when the arena was full and the wait was an hour long. So if there's anything in particular you want to watch, be really organised, get there nice and early. We're just heading into the main arena to watch some agility. Oh, okay, I'm really excited for this. We've got flyball up first. It's very cool in here and nice to sit down.
The flyball last 16 competition continues with 4 places left in the semi-final.
Just to get them used to exactly what they need to do. They get shown the lanes, there we go. They get shown the lanes, they get shown the balls, they know exactly what to do. So it's just a warm-up, just to get the dogs ready for the next competition.
Right, bloody quick, aren't they? That's mental.
Down the line there. You can see from the you can see the split times. You can also see the faults. Now the faults might in her A's.
Just about to watch Trip Hazard perform. Now we've got the West Midlands Police Force.
And finally back onto the sleeve. So a bit of sleeve work now, so straight chase into the sleeve. Ooh. Tasty. And that will do, we'll have a release off the sleeve and then reward. So big up police, reward back, it's actually right. Fantastic. Just got there. They're going to get out of the vehicle and they're going to apprehend the suspect. So this is Carl with there. Yes, come on!
So we've just left the main arena, as have most other people. As you can see behind me, we watched the flyball, we watched Trip Hazard do a little dance, and we watched the West Midlands Police Force, I think. Really good. I love the arena. I'm so glad we got to go in there. So if you think it's busy on the way in, it's also busy on the way out if you leave before like an interval. I guess in the same way as it would be busy if you were leaving a concert. We also got held up in some traffic because Claudia Winkleman had priority. I mean, of course, she's Claudia Winkleman. Let her have priority. But in general, what I would say is that if you don't like crowds or you get anxious around big groups of people, Crufts really isn't for you, because at times it is so hectic and there's not a lot of room to move around. So you can see here on the left we're queuing to leave the arena, and on the right people are queuing to get into the arena. Middle lane is competitors and people with special wristbands. And just like that, Crufts 2026 is over. Thank you for coming along with us, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I've captured enough footage as well. There is a lot going on. And I mean, I'm exhausted. So hopefully I've got enough footage. Hopefully I've done it justice. We had a lovely day. I think I need to nap for about a week now. But yeah, thank you for coming with us. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video, give us a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl.